right, guys, welcome back to a podcast. We took a little break, having fun with the family and friends and all of that. Today we have Moises Mendoza, our guest.
Let's go.
Thank you for having me, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, two of our favorite topics, man. Soccer and beer. Let's go. Moises, I have not met you. I kind of want to start this off by learning a little bit more about you, man. Where are you from? Where were you raised? Where'd you go to school? And just tell us a little bit about that.
Cool, yeah. Well, I was born and raised here in Salem. My parents are from Mexico. My dad's from Oaxaca. My mom's from Nayarit. Let's see. I pretty much was born and raised in the same street, man. I went to North Salem High School, and then from there I went to get my undergrad at Western Oregon, and then I got my master's at Grand Canyon, but all of it has been done in town. I never really left, but that's just a little bit about who I am.
Okay. So I know you own a tap room now, but my question is, where did your entrepreneurship come from? Who did you learn that from, or is that just really first generation from you?
Shoot, man, you tell me how much time we got.
We got a lot of time, bro. We want to hear it all, bro.
Nah, well, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, but there's a morro, pues. I was my pops and my mom. They're field workers, they're farm workers, and I would go to from like my latest memory, man, was waking up at 4:15 in the morning. My mom packing my lunch and putting a sweater on me and going to El Campo, to pick blueberries or strawberries. When I was a really little kid, with like 5 or 6 years old, I would hide under the trees and take a nap,
Yeah.
But as I got older, I was the oldest. I am the oldest in my family, so I would, 7, 8 years old, ya andaba cargando mis buckets of blueberries. And then it was just something that like at a young age aprendí a trabajar. And as I got older, cada verano así me la pasaba, and I knew, like my dad and my mom, they taught me how to work. My uncle, my family, everybody is in the farm working business, so I learned how to make ends meet through farm work. Pero siempre pensé, like, there's more to to this. Ya después, pues, after I graduated high school, went to college. But even then, I was like, all right, I'm the first to graduate college in my family, pero ¿qué más? ¿Qué más falta? Y luego ya después agarré I was able to get my master's in education. I was a teacher, so I had a career. But even then, man, it called me back. Like I would still go back to the fields every summer, like working in the school district. I would get like winters off, I would get spring break, I would get summers off. So in the summer, I would call up my cousin, and I would be out there in the blueberry harvesting machine. Y ahí me la pasaba también. Pero yeah, after all that, I learned. I was like, all right, I want to do something for myself también, and siempre me ha gustado la cerveza, so I always, like, that was always in the back of my mind, like, how can I make this este gusto? How can I make this into a business? Y siempre I was like, I wish I could open a bar, that was always in the back of my head. Pero I didn't know exactly what my vision was. I just knew that I feel like I would enjoy serving people alcohol, and then it was started as an idea of like, I want to have a bar with food and tener este ambiente, X cosa, continued to develop into what it is now, which is Mesa Del Rincon, cervecería and taproom.
Dude, were you a good farm worker?
Me?
Yeah.
Here and there, yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, sí. De niño también me escondía.
You take naps too?
Yeah.
That's how everybody starts, man.
Yeah,
Take a little nap in the shade, and then recuperate your
dude.
batteries and go.
Hell yeah. Did you go blueberry picking too, or what picking would you do?
I
don't remember.
No, not blueberry. Raspberry? Or sí, no?
Raspberry?
No, not raspberry. Sí, no? La mora? Or what
Sí,
is
sí.
it? Is that raspberry?
Yeah, raspberry.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Fresa was only a little bit, but it wasn't like, not a lot.
The fresa was
Yeah.
I hated fresa.
Yeah, everybody says they hate fresa.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot, dude. I didn't like that.
Like your knees hurt, your back hurts.
I've only gone blueberry and grapes.
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 Oh, yeah,
Grapes. Grapes was my favorite
yeah,
though.
grapes.
Grapes was my favorite. I'd make the most money in grapes for sure.
With the little clippers.
Yeah, but not blueberry. I wasn't really good at that.
No, never. Nah, blueberry tampoco.
I would have like over $100 days back when I was like young, dude, 12, 13, 14 with grapes, but not with blueberries, dude.
Like
Blueberries, dude, would whoop my ass, dude. Fucking $40 days for fucking
Yeah.
6-7 hours worth of work.
Well, one of my favorite memories, man, is you know how you guys collect stuff?
Yeah.
I bought my first Game Boy SP.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys remember Game Crazy.
Yeah.
On Center Street.
Yeah.
I worked an entire week from Monday through Saturday, and I was making like $25 a day picking blueberries, and they would pay me cash every day. And then on Saturday, after I got my last check, I put it all in my wallet, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I got like $140." So I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, take me to Game Crazy," and I bought a little blue Game Boy SP, and I bought Donkey Kong.
I was gonna ask what game. Donkey Kong.
Dude, that was my first ever. Like I felt like I was balling, man.
I had a Game Boy SP as well, and I think my first game was Pokemon. I think I only had Pokemon games, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But he said with his first check.
He dice que con dinero compraba el Game Boy.
That was his first
the
purchase.
His SP, no? One of his first purchases, no?
Well, his first big purchase.
That was
no?
my first big purchase.
Yeah, his first big purchase.
Damn.
Good
Memories, dude.
Yeah, good memories though, man. Growing up in Salem, having Game Crazy, because I don't think Game Crazy is nationwide.
No,
it's just
I think it's
local.
local.
So
Bro, you said you went to North, right? And you did sports.
Yeah.
What sports did you do?
So I played soccer all 4 years, and then my sophomore year, I got recruited to play tennis because nobody else signed up to play tennis. So my homie and I, we played tennis for a year. I was terrible at it, but I still played. And then, but now after playing, I started coaching actually when I was in high school. I was a junior in high school. I started coaching soccer with a buddy of mine. So my buddy's name is Sal. Him and I started coaching, and then I was a senior. We were already coaching, and then we used to continue coaching. And then that kind of like kicked off my coaching career. Like I did it almost for fun because my sisters were playing, and then it just kind of like picked up. And then after I graduated high school, I went to college, but I continued coaching. That's actually one of the reasons why I decided to stay local, because I had a Ford scholarship, so I was able to go to any school in Oregon, but I chose to stay local because I wanted to continue coaching. And then after that, I at 19 years old, I started coaching at McKay. I was the boys JV coach at McKay for 3 years under Coach Lopez, and then from there I went to West. I coached 3 years at West with my buddy Sal. I was the JV coach there as well, and then I went to Sprague for another year. And then I was 7, and then I'm entering my 3rd year at North Salem. So, and now after 7 years, and now I was able to land my head coach position at North. So I've been coaching there for 3 years now, and yeah, it's crazy, man. Like it was started as a fun little hobby to like as a volunteer. Yeah, ahorita like now it's something that I look forward to. Like we're about to start season, man. And it's just like one of those things que nunca me la esperaba, and to be able to go back to the school that where I played at to be coaching there, it's one of a kind, man.
This is your first head coach,
Simon,
right? Yeah, we were just talking about that. I'm like, damn, that must be a good feeling being a head coach, and to the first one is where you came from.
Yeah, bro. It was te lo juro que my first home game as a head coach at North was against McKay. And it was my second game as head coach. The first one we had, it was an away game, and my first home game. I remember as a player when we played the varsity games, like one of my favorite feelings was like doing the national anthem, and then after the national anthem was done, running over to the coach so he can give instructions. So coming back full circle, like my first ever game 3 years ago, like cuando escuché el national anthem, I was like, oh shoot, like,
This is
I
real.
got chills, man. I got the chills, and like me dio escalofrío, like I was like, yeah, this is real, like yeah, like you said it. So it's been cool, man. I think I really enjoy it. I hope I'm there for a while,
yeah, it must be a good feeling, dude. I mean, going to North, playing at North, being a coach. I think it's pretty awesome. I was telling him la otra vez que McKay and North at the time when I was going, era un clásico, dude. I don't know about now, but it was a clásico. When you were in high school, was it a clásico or no?
Not with North. When I was in high school, it was McNary, I think, was like It was McKay against McNary, or it was McKay against South. It was one of those two.
Really?
Yeah, that was like the.
So cambia.
I think cambia.
So entonces no es clásico. It's just
Yeah.
the moment, no?
Yeah, I think it's just a moment. What would you consider a classic right now when you guys would play?
Pues last year we had the McKay versus North siempre se pone bueno.
Sí.
Pero we always it was because they're not in our conference anymore. Siempre it was in preseason, so it gives us very little time to build it up. Pero the original classic was the North versus South. Like even when I was in high school, like that's what people would look forward to. So ahorita that's still the classico, North versus South.
You know what was a classic too? McKay versus Woodburn. That one was big.
That one's still
big, huh? Yeah,
see, it's crazy.
That one was. See, but I think South has been really good at soccer for several years, and I think that's why if like they're like the better school, that's why there's more hype around that. Like, we need to beat these guys. We need to show them.
I don't know about the better school,
Well, I mean, they've been historically they've been pretty good at soccer.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they've won title. I don't know about that, but they've been known to have good soccer teams.
Yeah, I think was it 09 or something like that. They won the state championship.
Yeah, 09. Yeah, they've always had good players.
Yeah, they've always.
But, the only reason I said ese clásico es que le estaba comentando que nos pintábamos el pelo verde. Ellos se pintaban el pelo, and then they had a lot of back then. They had a lot of graffiti, and they would go to McKay and then tag up our campos because it wasn't in the stadium. Eran en los campos McKay Field, McKay Park. And
what would they tag?
Algo de fútbol. They would just let it be known that it was them.
What would
North?
like?
I
What?
don't remember where, but I don't remember. But it was all them. It was their colors. It was their school stuff. Todo, dude. Because our fields were by the baseball. Donde está el baseball, and then the dugout. Están las bardas. So they would tag those two because it was JV and varsity.
Dang, they wanted the smoke.
They did. They would tag it all up and stuff, and then
Shout out to class of 2001, huh?
yeah, dude, that was not 2001, but I mean, you know what I mean. It was the early 2000s, and but yeah, dude, it was crazy though, man. I liked it though. It was cool.
Dang.
I liked it. It was fun, man. I liked playing there. It was a good.
You played there too?
At McKay.
Oh, shit.
McKay, yeah. North Salem was one of the only schools or few schools that had turf.
Who was North?
Mm-hmm.
They've always had a nice field.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, we got turf. I was in high school. We got turf. North played Barrick for a long time. Their varsity games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, because I think we were one of the last.
When we played, they played in turf. We played in turf, and that was like 07, 06, look that.
At North?
Yeah.
Was it the same field?
Or
was it a
stadium,
different-
the stadium,
the stadium donde está ahorita?
one. That's the only.
Yeah, because I remember track, even in middle school, I think it was in 8th grade. I think when we would do parish, we would go do the track at North Salem High School, and they had turf too. I remember it was a really nice stadium compared to McKay. Back then we didn't have shit for McKay. I think it was regular grass.
So, I remember him playing at McKay, man. There was
Holes everywhere.
There was like a hill, man.
Yup.
When you would cross the ball, you couldn't see where it landed because there was like a slope.
Was
in
it the
middle.
stadium?
It was
Yeah,
at the stadium, I remember
yeah.
that.
Dude, we played like a couple games in the estadio, and it was in the middle. It was like Sira, así. So like it was yeah.
It's probably an advantage for you guys, no? Because you guys knew it was
no,
there.
because we never played there. We never like soccer program. The McKay historically has never been like. It's always been a poor program, ¿verdad? And over the last 10 years, I think the program has grown significantly, and they tienen todo, pues. Ahora los apoyan mucho al fútbol y todo eso. Antes, dude, I think we only had like probably like 10 spectators. Dude, no iba nadie. No habría en los stands ni nada. And we were only playing the stadium like maybe once every season. Once.
Yeah, the soccer has grown, man. Like,
so it's grown now. Hay mucho apoyo ya.
I mean, it's good for the kids, man, because they have pueden, like to live the true atmosphere, like of what it's supposed to be. So
just to tell you, dude, the jerseys we had my first year that I played there eran como de tela, like those shiny, like not basketball jerseys. Maybe did they have basketball jerseys before?
No, I know what you're talking about though. I've seen
like
a couple
shiny,
of them.
like kind of like there's no brand on them. There's nada. They're all loose, like baggy.
Yeah, I remember seeing those because I was when I was coaching. I also coached Stevens for a little bit, and one of the coaches, because you know how Stevens feeds into UK, they would take us like McKay's old uniforms, and I remember seeing them.
Oh, okay,
Shoot.
yeah.
So it was like the retro jerseys,
Yeah,
which are
dude.
pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
dang,
now they're cool,
yeah,
but
back in the
see,
days.
back then, dude, everyone had like Nike, Adidas, todo eso. They all had their backpacks and sweats, and McKay no tenía nada. No los apoyaban, pues,
Simón,
el
Simón.
fútbol. But now they're huge, dude. They're good. They're doing good. You know, Toño's doing good with them. Shout out to Toño. So, you know. But yeah, dude, I like it.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, what did you learn from coaching from so many schools? I feel like every school that I've gone to, that I've like, because I went to several different high schools, I feel like they were all different. So, is coaching the same, or did you learn different things from coaching in different schools?
You learn a lot from different schools because every group of players, every demographic, you have to take a different approach. You know, like not just tactically, but like how your delivery and how you express, how you get the best out of each player. Like the way I coached at West was very different than the way I coached at McKay. And simply because, you know, when I'm coaching like my current guys, it's all Spanglish. A veces les hablo en español, a veces les hablo en inglés. Depende like the mood. A veces los regaño en inglés, en español. And when I was coaching at West, it was predominantly like in English, and I had to, you know, express it differently. Players played. You know, I had a very positive experience in all my years, but I think being able to coach at different sides of town, different schools, prepared me for where I'm at now. Because it's, you know, it's different. It's different. You'll learn as you go, kind of thing.
Would you say that one's easier than, you don't have to say obviously the school name, but would you say that some are easier to get things across than others, or do you think that it's just kind of like learning that one thing and then it's pretty similar?
I mean, soccer-wise, it's similar.
Soccer-wise,
That's more on the coach. You know, like once you know your delivery, the guys will perform and will do as you ask them. I think there's things that are beyond a coach's control and even beyond players' control that also influence how players perform, or you know how often players show up to practice and stuff like that are beyond our control. So those things we really have to maneuver. And being Latino, you know, knowing the background, you know, I have to understand their struggles are different than somebody else's struggles. So kind of knowing, but don't get me wrong, everybody has their own battles, and everybody has things going on at home. It's just knowing how to balance it and making sure that it doesn't affect the way you play, and bringing out the best in every player, like regardless of what their background is.
So you've been coaching since, you said, your junior year in high school, right?
Simón.
So you were 16, 17.
Simón.
Is it hard to get players respect when you're so young?
Dude, at that age, I started, I think when I was 16, 17, I was coaching 8 and 9 year olds. So they saw me like, you know, an adult.
Like an adult, yeah.
Simón. But when I got, shout out to Coach Lopez, which he gave me an opportunity. I was a morro, man. I was a freshman in college. I was just 19. And so getting JV players, like those JV players that I had at McKay, man, they were talented. Dude, they were freshmen, sophomores, and they were like good players. I mean, those guys were already 15, 16, and I was only, I had just freshly turned 19 years old. So I had to, that really prepared me to like create some boundaries, you know, like, because some players will be closer to 17 and I'm still 19. So that how do you create that difference? So at first it was challenging, man. At first it was challenging because players would be like, why do I have to respect this guy? But, you know, Coach Lopez gave me some guidance. And then, you know, Coach Hector over there as well, he was the assistant coach for varsity. Both those guys took me under their wing and kind of prepared me. So, I mean, I was there for 3 years, and it really, like, by the second and third year, players didn't see me as close to their age. They saw me as a, you know, as a coach. And I was able to get my point across.
Dang. Yeah, I think I could see how that would be difficult.
Yeah, I think that is difficult that way. Have you ever had advice that que alguien te dijo when you were coaching, when you first started coaching, and that you kind of implement that in your work or just in your life?
Let's see, advice from
or like something you learned from them a lot, or
coaching wise is like, I think one of the most important things as a coach that I've learned is to And I struggled with this a lot, especially with club. Is the point is that I'm not their friend. You know, a coach is not a player's friend, and that's one of the things that helped me because, like I said, when I was coaching club soccer, because of that is year round, I was able to get to know a lot of my guys at the personal level, and you know, some guys as you get to know them, they open up to you, and I learned to. And it's hard to not create a connection like that. But I have to continue being a role model and their friend, being an example to lead, and that's one of the biggest things that young coaches have to really differentiate is it's easier to trust, it's easier to be a role model than it is to be a friend because then when you become a friend now you're conflicted. How do I go about this? So. That's really one of the things that I continue to carry now.
Yeah, it could be hard. I mean, just like anything that has to do with leadership, it doesn't matter where you're at, work or anything, es difícil.
Simón.
Todo eso.
Yeah, and then also knowing, that I went through what a lot of these, like especially my current base, like some of my guys are like, "Hey, coach, I can't go to practice tonight because I'm working." I was like, "Hey, I understand, So I'm not gonna hound them over that because like. I understand. We grew up like we're talking about. We went to Blueberries. The summer was a time to make money so you can have new school clothes. So I get it.
Yeah, no, pues sí. Yeah, a lot of the older ones también son los que empiezan a trabajar más luego, like the seniors, juniors.
So you said that you went to school and you got a degree in education, and you said that you're a teacher. What do you teach?
No, I'm not a teacher anymore.
No, what did you teach?
I taught. So when I graduated, I went straight into the school district. I was a migrant specialist for 2 years, and then from there I went back to get my master's with my teaching license, and I taught PE and I taught AVID. So I really like teaching PE because it was like coaching. I got to play, handball, basketball, all the fun stuff, and I taught AVID as well. But once I got my master's in 21, I think I was only teaching for another additional year. I was like, you know what, like I had to make a decision. It's either do I continue in the education field and go back to get my like administrator's license to be like a vice principal or principal, or do I take a different venture with my life? And then I think so you guys know what AVID is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's like a college prep program.
Okay.
It's like advancement via individual determination.
Okay.
And then so what they'll do is like for the students is you teach them study skills. You teach them things that will prepare them beyond high school, especially if they want to pursue college. And being an AVID teacher, kids would always ask me. We would always talk about college, and I would. And, this is an unpopular opinion, but I would tell them, like, look, college may be your goal, but I'll tell others, like, don't make that, like, your only route. Like, there's other routes that don't involve college. There's other education doesn't mean a degree. You are, every day you're educated. You learn something new. So what I would tell them is, find something that you like, and get educated in that field. And obviously, if you want to be a doctor, then you have to get educated at a med school. You want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. But if you want to be, a diesel mechanic, how do you get educated? By being hands-on. If you want to be a cook, you want to be a chef, how do you get educated? By being hands-on or taking being under somebody's wing. So that was always my advice, and I would always tell my students, like, look. I'm not going to push college on you, but I'm going to push is to start setting some goals, start exploring what you really want. And one time I went completely off script and I made my own project for my students. And I was like, look, name me your top three careers that you would want to pursue. And these guys these students were 8th graders. So they were like, 13, 14. And then they chose. And, some people would be like, I want to be a teacher. Other people were like, I want to be a hairstylist and stuff like that. And what I did is I told them, I was like, look, go look at their yearly salaries on Google. Look at Indeed. I was like, go on Indeed, see what people are actually making in the real world in those positions right now. and look at the cost of living. I was like, with your career choice, can you live up to what you want? Like, is that something that are you going to be making enough money to live comfortably, or should you start redirecting your thought process into something else? And sometimes, and a lot of the students were like, "Oh wow, I didn't realize that being X, Y, and Z was making so little money." Or I used to think that $20 an hour was a lot of money, but now that I see what the cost of living is in XYZ town, it's not comparable. So I would try to change their thought process, and I like to feel like I made a little bit of an impact because those are the things that sometimes you don't learn in school.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean I think that's exactly how I feel too. También todo eso.
No, I agree. I think that's so smart because some of these certain careers that do require college, but then they get out of school and they're making $35K a year.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you just spent so much money in like a state in like a university to only make 35K a year or something like that. And a lot of those people don't even know that was the kind of money that they were gonna make after they graduated, until they got the surprise after they graduated.
Yeah. Surprise.
I'm surprised, real surprised. I feel like that's mind blowing to me that they would even allow someone to go to school for something.
Es por eso, como dice él, el sistema está, cuando estás en el colegio, first generation, vas al colegio, quieren que vayas al colegio, you're following that, right? And then they're not guiding you, no one's guiding you, because if you're first generation, tus papás no te van a decir, no van a saber, tú vas a hacer más que tus papás, like, that's why there's that help, right? And so, it's tough. I mean, once you're there, but I mean, if you're able to help and change that, and while you were there, then that's,
And I think that's really important for not just Latinos, because there's a lot of first generation. There's the first generation everywhere, first generation college students everywhere, and that's one of those unspoken things. Is like, okay, yes, you want to be the first in your family to graduate college. You want to be the first one in your family to have a master's degree, but what's aside from having the diploma on your wall, like, what's the outcome? Like, what's the goal? Is it financial stability? Is it to be able to retire your parents? Is it able to look into those things? And I wish that we would challenge our youth more to think that way. Like, hey, before you pick a career or before you pick whether you're going to go to college, let's look into what life after high school really looks like. Because if you're making $25 an hour at an office job, but you have zero debt and you went straight from high school, you're probably significantly better off than somebody that's making $55K a year with $50,000 worth of debt at 22 years old. So balancing those things out, and yes, a $55K yearly salary sounds better than $20 an hour, but when you start comparing debt to income ratio, and you start comparing other stuff like that, then you really start to weigh out, like, did I make the right career choice? Is this worth it? So I'm not trying to talk down college.
No, yeah.
It's just
hay más opciones.
Simón.
Más opciones. So, and everything. So I've always been a big believer in that as well. So
I was watching this podcast with have you ever watched Graham Stephan? Either one of you guys?
No, I don't know who that is.
He's pretty big in finance on YouTube, and he did the math of what a doctor would be making after they graduated from school, and what a plumber would make if a student graduated and went right into the plumbing trade school. And a plumber would significantly make more money until they if they both started after high school at 18, until they were 39. Once they hit 39, then the doctor would make more money than the doctor would make more money than a plumber at that point. But they have so much school debt that the plumber was a lot better off financially until they hit that point. So that's a long time, almost 20 years, no?
And don't get me wrong, man. We want more doctors, We want
for
lawyers.
sure. No, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, pero hablas para los que, you just have options, Tienes que tener opciones, porque si nada más saben una cosa, no van a saber la otra. Ellos van a decidir. So.
Yeah, and those are like things that we should continue to that thought process. Not telling kids what to do, but just showing them, look, these are the options. These are the things that happen in real life. Like, hey, I went this route and this is my outcome. He went this route and this is the outcome. Let's start kind of make your own choice.
That's what it is. It's just options, laying it out there, explicándole todo, and then they decide. But at the end of the day, if they don't have they don't know that knowledge or option, or they don't know how to find it themselves, they're never gonna know. And then it just keeps going and it just keeps going, and then but that's good, dude. That's good.
Yeah. So.
It's good that you were there. You said you were at North, right?
No. I was at Claggett.
Claggett. Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
and then that's actually why I started my business in Keizer, because I was like, you know what, I like Keizer. Like, it's a cool little area, and I've actually I felt really connected with it too. So
Yeah.
And then my goal was to eventually teach at North because I was coaching there. But then I took a different career path. I didn't tell you guys that, but after I left, when I was thinking, I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
One day I just got crazy. I called up a buddy of mine. I was like, look, dude, I want to explore other career options, and I got into marketing, and then so I left education, dude. I put a 90-day notice, and I was like, look, I'm gonna pursue other things, and people were like, what? You just got your master's in education? How are you already leaving? And then they're like, is it the kids? Like, no,
This is the kids.
Are you okay?
No,
because they said it was hard because it was during COVID, during that after 2020, right? Yeah, they said it was really difficult for being in school, anywhere in school.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it was, but I was PE and I was avid, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, going to work every day was enjoyable because kids would be excited. They wanted to be PE. They wanted to play sports and whatnot. But at the personal level, like, I was like, just like the way I told my avid kids, like, look, explore your career options. I feel like, there's more to give. Like, what's my next step? And then that's when I just decided to, take a leap of faith. Y cambié de carrera, and ahí vamos, poco a poco.
Yeah. Dijiste que estabas en una agencia de marketing, ¿no?
Yeah, I do marketing for a senior living company.
Yeah.
So it's very different than working as being a teacher. It's it has its pros and cons también, pero
just like anything.
Yeah, but I learned the difference between being in the public sector versus the private sector, and those are things that not everybody considers. Like working for a government funded job versus working for a privately funded position. It's very different, and I wish as a student, even in college, man, sometimes they don't teach you that stuff. Like, you have to really learn on your own, like, just through experiences.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is in some cases. Yeah. So. Damn, that is crazy. And then what? And then he just brought you to the bar.
Yeah, no, well,
it's like, hey, marketing is too much for me, man. It's like,
kids, I'm tired of kids. I'm tired of old people. I'm with you at the bar. Well, I want to go back a little bit. What did your parents say when you told them you were gonna quit?
Dude, nadie se la creía, man. Like, neta, because, porque, I mean, obviously, being the first one with the masters, they were like, oh, no, el Moya ya sacó su maestría, ya tiene sus dos títulos, and when I told them, they were the first to know. I was like, hey, ¿sabes qué? Mi amigo me ofreció un trabajo y así está la cosa. And they were like, no, pero, si para eso estudiaste y todo esto. And then, I was like, no, pues tengo que arriesgarle, hay que rifársela y aquí en 2 años voy a ver si la regué or... and that's one of the things my dad would always tell me. He's like, estudia, porque eso nadie te lo puede quitar. And it's true, and I used the same thing on him. I was like, look, ya estudié, ya tengo el título, ahí está en la pared. I was like, si un día llego a necesitarlo, pues puedo regresar a ser maestro, pero and this one phrase that I used, I told him, I was like, some trains only stop once, and meaning that, like, if I didn't take this opportunity, I didn't know if it was going to come again at that age, at that time. So I used that phrase and I went with it. I took the leap. My dad was like, pues está bien, que Dios te bendiga y échale ganas. And I mean, I didn't go anywhere very far, but I mean, he was just like, that change in career path.
That's a huge change.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking for your family porque, ven cuánto invertiste time-wise. They were like, fuiste a la escuela 6 años para ser maestro y todo esto. Like, well, why are you, like, letting it go? And I was like, ¿sabes qué? Es un riesgo que estoy... It's actually my life quote, man. It's, life's a risk, carnal.
Yeah.
You guys watch Blood and Blood?
Yeah. Life's a risk.
So I told it to my dad. I was like, life's a risk, carnal.
Yeah.
And I actually got that on my boy Dusty's little collar on the back. It's like, if I get lost, just remember, life's a risk, carnal. And I've always, like, as goofy as it sounds, like that you sometimes, for better or for worse, sometimes that's how I make some decisions. And when I took that leap of faith, don't get me wrong, for the first 2 or 3 months working in marketing for a senior living company, dude, it was a whole different ballgame, dude. I was nervous. No, I thought I was gonna fail. Pero poco a poco aprendí with the right mentorship. Y ya con eso ya pude. It opened up different opportunities for me. Y ya a year and a half later, I was able to fund the business y abrir mi propia cantina.
What were you marketing for the senior living? Like, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So when you do marketing, it's pretty much like so I work at a specific retirement home, and then let's say for our example, you have a certain amount of rooms, and like if you have to market it to the community, saying, hey, your loved one's life the quality of life can be improved if they live with us. So it's how you deliver that, and people will come in saying, "Hey, my loved one is ready for additional care. Can you show me what services you guys offer and stuff like that." So that's pretty much what you do.
Yeah, I see.
But that would entail like social media ads and.
There's a little bit of that, but a lot of it, especially with the older, because we're dealing with folks that are in their late 60s, 70s, 80s. So social media isn't huge. Maybe Facebook, where they look at pictures, but for the most part, it's mainly like old school, like person to person. How you communicate, going to you market in person, man. You go visit people, saying, "Hey, I'm so and so from so and so company." And you put a handshake on it. Like those are things that that generation.
So it's like sales.
Yeah. It's sales and marketing.
Okay.
But it's just it's a different form of marketing. It's not like nowadays.
Yeah, I thought you meant like marketing, like doing ads, posters, cosas así.
Yeah. Well, we do a little bit
digital
of that.
things that you gotta like, hey, we need to send this nationwide, or I don't know how big the company or events.
Yeah, I mean, I still manage events. I create my own flyers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But the most of it consists of really being face to face.
So with the marketing, you said you just woke up and you're like, I'm gonna just try it. You called your buddy and then you got the job right away. You got the job and then 3 months later you ended up starting that job. Was it the same with the bar? Did you just wake up and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna try it. Life's a risk.
Well, no, just to clarify on the marketing one. One day I just called my buddy and I was like, look, dude, I want to try something new. And he jokingly said, he's like, hey, I have a marketing position coming up soon. I think you have a big mouth, man. You don't shut up.
He said, Juanito didn't want to dress down for PE today. I'm done.
You know what? I think that's what happened. But that's what how that conversation started for the marketing one. And I had met him working at a different community when I was in college. Because I used to be a maintenance guy for a different senior living company. So that's where I met him and I just connected with him. Pero después... even when I was a teacher, man, like I always wanted to be my own business owner. Like my family, tengo tíos que they're labor contractors, so tienen sus negocios. Tengo primos que tienen sus negocios, but all of it was consistent of farm work. And that was never my thing. Like I trust me, I would pick berries. I was working in the field still. I was in college, but I didn't want to open a business to provide field work. I wanted to do something else. Y siempre me ha gustado la chela,
Sí.
So I was just like, I think I want to do a bar. I talked to a buddy of mine, and I encouraged him to open his business. He actually sells. They sell tamales. His company's name is Tamales del Valle, and they do like not like person to person tamale sales, but they do like. They sell to restaurants and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, I see.
Like in bulk.
Is it here in town?
He's in town, but
Okay.
I think he's in Halsey. But yeah, him and I were always talking about like starting a business, and he had his tamale recipe, and I was like, dude, go for it, man. So he partnered up with his mom, and I encouraged him, and he encouraged me. He was like, dude, if you want to pursue the bar, let's see, go for it. And I had support from him, from my girl, from my family, from everybody, and everybody's just like, yeah, dude, you're gonna do it, man. Échale. And here's one thing, man. I suck at finances. I was horrible at saving money. Like no matter how much money I would make, I couldn't save money for shit. So I had to sell. So I collect old school cars. I had a 64 Impala, a 65 Chevy C10. I sold those two, and I was like, look, I now have the money to invest in the business, so vamos a darle con todo.
Damn.
So it was, it took a lot of sacrifice, man.
That white C10 that you had on Instagram, that you have on Instagram?
I
That's
had three.
nice, bro.
Yeah, I had three. And at one point when I was in college, when I was teaching, I was like, that was my goal, just to get my classic cars out there, and like I was chilling. Pero in the back of my mind, I knew that was my savings account. Like I knew, like if I, push comes to shove, I tengo mis ahorros. And it hurt, bro. When I was ready to start moving forward with the business, and I knew that I needed more capital, and when I saw another man drive off with my Impala, man, dude, it was painful, man.
Damn, I bet.
Dude, seeing somebody drive off with your baby, dude, another man touching
another man.
Dude,
How long did you have him?
Let's see. Since COVID, man. Since 20,
damn,
right.
But is that something you always wanted, kind of, right?
Yeah. Growing up, man, like I would always watch Lil Rob Summer Nights, the music video. So I was like, I always wanted an Impala. Se me dio el gusto. Y, I was always working on it. I rented a shop, so I would keep all my 3 cars stored right there. Pero ya cuando ocupé el dinero, I was like, the Impala's gotta go. This is gonna be, part of the story of how I started the bar. Y, I took it one last cruise the night before. Dude, it's the core memory now, bro. I was driving down Lancaster, and then I was with my girl, and we were driving down, cruising. The song, the Richie Valens, La Bamba, it was playing on the radio.
Yeah.
And just, I had all the windows rolled down. I was cruising, and then a truck pulls by, and some young kids, man, they're probably like 16, 17. They're like, hey, man, that's a nice Impala. I was like, shoot. And then I thought to myself, like, dude, am I really going to sell my Impala? Like, am I doing the right thing?
That's tough, man.
Yeah. The next
Sacrifice.
day, man. The guy came, had money in hand. I was like, vamos pues, yeah. Pero ahora, it was worth it, man. Ahorita ya con el negocio, ya que empezó, ahí vamos poco a poco. So,
later on, you'll buy 3 of them.
Hopefully, man.
When I used to work, my first job was working at Roth's, the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And Orville, the owner of that company, he had a 55. I don't know what the fuck it was called. It wasn't a truck; it was a car, but it was a nice car. It was back then. It was a really nice car too, and he ended up selling it for $5,000 back then. And he started his first grocery store with that money, and he ended up opening, I think it was like 10 grocery stores within our area, and then he ended up buying that car back. He ended up buying the car back, and then for like out in small towns, they have like events that they'll do. Lebanon has like some events that they'll do, and after he got his car back, he would take his car and they would go to those events, and that was like the big thing. That car was like that big thing. So I hope either one day you buy that exact same car back just for shit, not shits and giggles, but just for like
the nostalgia.
The nostalgia, yeah. I hope you get that same car back, man.
Yeah, bro. I still got my 64 C10. That was my baby. That was my first one. And I haven't needed, like, gracias a Dios, I haven't had to tap into that. But I know that if I, push comes to shove, like, if I have to. But right now it's sitting in the shop, I está esperando, waiting for me to cruise it. But now I don't have time. So.
Damn.
Porque tú ya estás trabajando allá en marketing, right?
Simón.
Y luego estás in the tap room, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I do Monday through Friday over there, and then in the evenings me la paso in the tap room, y on the weekends también. So, and then right now soccer season's coming up, so también I'm gonna have to.
Oh yeah, damn.
So I'll be all over the place.
Are you have practices in las tardes o en las mañanas? Sí,
las tardes.
Okay.
Because a lot of my players, like, they trabajan.
Yeah.
Like, we got some kids that are playing, like, doing construction, otros kind of in el campo. So if I do morning practices, nadie va a llegar. So I have to do it in the evenings. But
yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
So when you decided that you were going to start your venture with the bar, there's a lot to it.
Yeah. There's
a lot to it. How long did it take you from the time that you started doing, like, the first thing to get the business started to, like, the time you opened the front doors?
So when 2024 started, like, that was one of my resolutions. I was like, ahora sí, este año tengo que put pen to paper. Like, it's been in the back of my mind for a couple of years now. Vamos a darle. And January, I started looking for spots. I was like, all right, this could work. Todo esto. Y ya in February, I was able to, of this year, I found a spot. I was like, this is it. Like, this is the ideal spot. We went through that process. February 13th, 24 was when I got my LLC for the business, y de ahí empezó todo. So I got the LLC in February, y we were able to open doors June 1st. So I took over my current location March 1st, y de ahí empecé every day, man, a trabajar. But I had a couple homies que sabían a la construcción, and ya hasta los que no sabían, they're like, vamos a echarle, préstame ese martillo a ver qué hacemos. And I got a buddy of mine que me echó la mano con the flooring, and then I pulled up a couple YouTube videos, and I was like, all right, let's build a bar. Yeah. So stuff like that, and so all through March, April, me la pasaba ahí en las tardes, working on remodeling the bar, porque where I'm at now,
I've been there,
Simon, the fridge that we had, that's the only thing that was there that we kept, but it was like, they took up almost 2/3 of the entire space, so I hired someone to cut it down, the rest I was able to do on my own to, save on labor, era una putiza, pues, pero sí, valió la pena, I learned a lot, I learned to do things I had ni la idea, and then obviously there were some things that I had to outsource, but for the most part, no rifamos.
And have you been to his place?
I haven't yet.
No? I remember asking him. Yeah, dice que se la pasaba allí, piso, bar, todo, dude.
What was the hardest part of getting the business open? From the very, very beginning, if it was setting up the LLC, if it was setting up getting your liquor's license, I mean, what was the hardest part? I guess liquor's not the right license, right?
Is it considered liquor?
Okay.
It's a liquor license, yeah. I mean, honestly, all of that is just paperwork and making sure that things are right. The hardest part was going through like the doubt, like, am I doing the right thing? Because once you sign that, man, you're locked in. Like, and then you're like, so to me, the hardest part was the day to day. Like when I would spend 6-7 hours and get home at midnight or 1 a.m. before I worked the next day, and looking at it, and I was like, this was still not coming together. That self-doubt, I was like, did I do the right thing? Did I jump in too early? And then as you see your entire investment, your money that you have saved up go baja, and then when you're at zero, and then you have to start selling your beauties, and that's when I was like, it's like, did I do the right thing? Like, is this all going to be worth it? So, I mean, to answer your question, man, the hardest part was at the personal level.
Just
like
mentally. Because there's always something comes up. Oh, que tienes que gastar en eso. Like, oh, man, I didn't count on that. Oh, ¿cuánto va a ser? Oh, 300. Oh, 500 here. Oh, 600 here. Oh, okay, 1,000. And it's like, damn, pues que todavía nos falta esto. That's tough, man. Like, all of that. But, dude, I like it, dude. You should go, man.
I need to go. I need to check it out.
$1.50 mambas. Ya no, okay.
No, Simon, that's gonna be. That was always the vision también. Like, antes I would go, me gustaba pistear con mi compa, and we would go to different places, and I would always like have a budget, cuánto voy a gastar ahora, and I was always, how do you get a good buzz without breaking the bank? And
I drink mambas. only takes 3.
So now I made it a goal. I was like, I'm gonna have, like, I want to be affordable. I want people to come here and not break the bank, have a good time. It's a small spot, you saw it, but like, that was the vision. I always wanted to. So it's Mesa Del Rincon, and all I play is. Well, I changed it up now. I added a little bit of country music too, but a lot of like, Los Tigres del Norte, Vicente Fernández, Los Caminantes, Los Jonix, music like that.
Cool, yeah.
A lot of Mexicans are listening to country now, dude. Have you noticed?
I mean,
I guess you don't go out very much anymore.
No, I don't go out, but I think they've always kind of have.
Have they?
It's just, yeah. Yo pienso que siempre, sino que ya las generaciones van creciendo.
Your earbuds develop different tastes.
I guess, huh?
No, pues sí, that's what it is. That was my next question, but you pretty much answered it. El nombre de la Mesa del Rincón.
Oh, Simón. Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys have this core memory también, pero like I would grow up on Sunday mornings, my dad would freaking start blasting music at 8 a.m, que, se puso a trabajar en cualquier cosa, and that's how I would wake up. Or my mom cleaning, listening to. So that was always the music I grew up to, like, and that was the goal. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have a spot where I can drink music to my old school tunes, you know?
He can't relate.
What do you mean?
We had an episode with one of our last guests, actually, Cynthia Lara. Shout out to Cynthia. We did it at the end. We do a segment, and then that segment was like growing up Mexican on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
These are the type of music your parents would listen to, and he didn't know. No sabía nada.
Dude, I'd be impressed. I don't know.
He's
I'd
like,
be
I don't know
impressed-
which one. I'm like,
I'd be
bro.
impressed if he knew the songs too.
There
I
are
don't know,
muchas
dude.
clásicas.
We're a lot
of
younger,
people
dude.
when you grow up, you know, it's like, dude, he just Yonix y todo eso. You don't know them.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
it is.
No, I
It's all
don't.
good. It's all
I
good. So you
don't,
got to
bro.
pull up and all.
Yeah, dude.
You
Put me on game, dude.
Nah, but yeah, it's cool though. We had a segment. It's Saturday. Maybe your parents listen to something different.
Yeah, that's what it was for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I when I was growing up, I was like, no, this isn't my. But as I got older, I was like, this is.
Yeah, as you get older, that's what they always say, dude. You go back to the.
No, and people have told me that, man. When they pull up, they're like, dude, we like your spot, man, because you play the classics.
Yeah.
You know, like I haven't heard this song in so long, ever since I lived with my parents or stuff like that. So.
Damn.
Alan no sale de Peso Pluma y Los Inquietos.
Yeah, puros inquietos.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
They were actually here, dude. Los Inquietos in Salem.
Never gotten to see them, dude.
When you were in Hawaii, they were here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't know that until I saw their bus at the hotel. It was parked right there on Market Street. Ahí estaba, se miraba. And then I started seeing stuff on social media, que Los Inquietos concert in the pavilion, que putazos, que no sé qué.
Really? Of course.
All the time, dude. You
I
know,
see the
you know
film
how it
de
is.
Arriba, you know?
Yeah, pues,
That's one of my all-time favorites, man.
yeah,
Love
yeah,
Los Inquietos.
yeah. They always play that song too.
You know what I started listening to recently too now, dude? Cumbias bélicas.
Oh, sí,
Those are
man.
pretty hard, dude.
Cumbias bélicas?
Yeah, dude. You know what I'm talking
El-
about?
La chimichanga.
Yeah, dude. La chimichanga.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that
That shit,
chimichanga.
shit goes hard.
Tu flow de malandrín.
También. Yeah, dude.
I don't know, dude. The chimichanga, I heard it. I feel like kind of. Se me hace muy cómica. Muy como. Muy like niño.
Dude, you're just a hater, dude.
Maybe I am a hater.
You're just-
Maybe
you're
I
just
am.
too old, dude.
Maybe I'm
you know,
too old, but.
Who was the guys that fuck, there was this guy from, I don't know if it was Sinaloa, I think it was Sinaloa or maybe Tijuana. Remember that I guess he was like a rapper? You know, I showed you and you're like, oh, dude, this reminds me of, and then it was like,
Oh, Cartel de Santa.
no,
think so.
it wasn't Cartel de Santa. That guy, I like his music too.
Or was it the skinny short? Dude,
No, it was
skinny.
Kind of fat dude.
Oh no, I don't know.
I know I have him on my playlist, but dude, this guy was hating and he was saying that
Mexican OT?
no, who did you? I forgot who you.
I don't know,
who you
dude.
compared him to.
Fat Joe.
¿Verdad?
And he was saying he didn't like Mexican rap, and he was just talking a bunch of shit. And
Who,
I'm
me?
like, yeah, you.
I don't know, dude. Nunca me he nacido muy bien el Mexican rap.
MC Magic, no?
Nah. I don't even think he knows who that is.
You don't know who
I
MC
do.
Magic?
I
Oh,
do.
okay. Dude, you gotta test him sometimes,
Shoot,
dude.
man.
He just goes with the flow y no se sabe.
I'll keep talking. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah, no wonder when I said Little Rob Summer Nights.
No, I said I did. Dude, you
Se
got-
quedó mirando como que, damn.
Never heard that song.
Never heard.
Grupo 360.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of him.
You heard of him?
What's a
Let me see,
song of
play
theirs?
something right now. I don't know who you're talking about. Chimichanga stuff?
No, this is different.
This sound like this sound like Aquid.
Yeah, and I've never heard of that.
You heard of Aquid?
I heard Aquid.
Yeah, ¿verdad?
I grew up
Yeah,
to
no,
Aquid.
I'd never heard of Aquid.
See,
I'm like,
yeah,
who
they
the hell is
sound like
that?
them. They sound like Aquid.
But then I looked up Aquid, and I'm like, dude, I don't think that sounds anything like him. I'm like, dude,
They
I can vibe to
do.
this, and I can't vibe to that.
Aquid, that's all Saeed right there, dude.
Bro, Aquid is down, man. I grew up to homie songs. Aquid, Quinto Sol.
Quinto Sol.
You know Quinto Sol?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Quinto
Ella se
Sol.
fue. Ella se fue.
Yeah, Quinto Sol was kind of on the mainstream level at one point.
Simon, Quinto Sol. Who else? No, I mean that I think for because Quinto Sol was like on the Primer Impacto show. You know that morning show.
Yeah.
So Quinto Sol was a big time.
Look, this is the one.
Overcoming tough
Hold on.
times.
I don't pay for YouTube Premium. What?
I don't think no one.
Yeah, hell Oh,
It's
yeah,
alright,
dude.
it's alright.
30
Not
miles an
bad.
hour, just kind of.
The Chimichanga song, I don't know.
That one's a little more upbeat. This one's like cruising music. You know?
Yeah, I think they're both sick, dude. I like both of the songs, dude.
Good, dude.
That guy created something new, dude. I think that's pretty cool, but I don't really hear. I don't know how. I think I accidentally I was on YouTube and it was like a related song and it just started playing. I'm like, damn, this guy goes hard. And I started looking at his videos, dude, and some of his videos have like 40 to 60 million views. It's big, but you don't really hear people talking about that in the mainstream.
Yeah.
First time I heard about it was when he showed up on my TikTok.
TikTok?
The shirtless kid. Que estaba tocando you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not really on TikTok. I haven't really
He's been all over the place. He has the kid with the tattoo. And
Shirtless?
He has,
with the sleeve, with the one sleeve.
Simone,
Yeah.
He's the one that has that one song.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And they were saying that he was like the next up for the Cumbias Bélicas, but then he came up with his music video, and then they were talking mad shit about that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
the one that that's the song that I heard first.
Mimis or something like that. Mini Me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there,
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm a fan of that music, dude. I don't know. This guy's a hater, dude. This guy, when I met him, dude, like 10 years ago, he was like open-minded, dude. And now that he's just getting older, dude, he's like old.
No, maybe because
grumpy, only wants
we
to
just
listen.
like the older school now, you know. It's como
Yeah.
dices tú, yeah. You go back to that and then
Well,
you listen to the new one. So growing up,
Puros Tigres del Norte now. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
well,
But you gotta expand your.
So check it out. So growing up, Los Inquietos in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, no sé, I don't remember. Los dons, los más grandes, no les gustaba. And they still don't like it. They're like, oh, eso es
groseros.
basura. And then for me, I vibed it when I was in high school, but I've never really liked Inquietos after like that much, you know? It was just kind of like nostalgic, but no, I don't play them. Like, I don't rock to them, you know? But then I understand why the older people always say that. Like, no, it's because it's just different, you know? But I don't mind them, but I don't play them, you know?
They're definitely on my playlist.
No, es que tú eres alterado.
I am, dude. That hypes me up.
Puros balazos.
Hypes me up, dude.
You get your water gun.
Yeah, hell yeah. My water band.
Y en Hawái andabas así, ¿verdad?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
But I was curious. So when you found the spot, was there any negotiating when you were getting your like lease for your spot, or did you just like it is what it is and you just sign? Or
No, yeah, I was lucky enough to have a buddy of mine. His name is Ramiro. He has his real estate license, so he went through the contract with me. He's like, hey, ask for this, and this. Look at these specific things, because contracts, especially with commercial real estate, it's pretty lengthy. So he was telling me to look at specific things and whatnot. And the company that I was able to find a spot with, and the realtor that I worked with, they were really helpful as well. They were making sure that I knew what I was signing as well.
That's a big help, dude.
Yeah,
that's a big help. Yeah.
So, those are the things that come up. As a first-time business owner, I couldn't even ask my family about it, because even though they own business, but it was it's a very different type of business. So it was like a new venture, and I had to read it. I had my girl read it. I had my buddy read it, and everybody was just like, all right, yeah, this, look at this and that. Like one time I went with my buddy, we sat down at the Broadway Coffee House. I made 2 copies, and I was just highlighting things and kind of learning as I go. And that was a process for everything, man. Not just for when I found the spot, but for the liquor license, for every little thing that I had to do to make it legal. It was always a learning process, because it was first for everything.
Earlier, he asked you what advice a coach had given you that you kind of implemented within your coaching career. What's one thing that you've learned opening up your own first business that you're I would give this advice to someone else that's starting up their own business?
It's an unpopular opinion, man. But there's no business and family don't go hand in hand. There's no. And a buddy of mine told me that, and I really and I had another mentor that gave me the same advice. There's no such thing as a family in business, and I say that out of respect. Obviously family and friends support, but at the end of the day, when it's everything you guys on the line, you have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. And That's the harsh reality of it. So before you go into business, you have to make sure that because it takes a toll on you, not just financially, but you have to make sure that you're willing to lose everything that you put in. You're willing to lose, and that could be from time to money to relationships. Like there's a lot of investment. You invest a lot, and it's not just financial. And that's one thing that people, before you go into business, realize that it's not just about capital. It's about everything that takes, because you are fully invested. And if you're not fully invested, then the business is not going to succeed. It's not going to thrive. So to me, that's the biggest advice is, don't mix friends and family and business, and then be willing to lose, be willing to be able to take those losses, because like right now we're entering our 3rd month in business, and gracias a Dios, it's been picking up. Things are going well, but I know that I'm not gonna see profits or anything like that until X amount of time. Like it's gonna be a long time, and that was something that I understood. But little by little, I've been learning que it's costing me other stuff too. Pero te digo, no me rajo. Ahí vamos.
Yeah.
Poco a poco.
Yeah. I think a lot of people oversee that. They don't. I don't think they truly see it until you're in that position. Because you hear it here and there, pero no le ponen mucha atención. Se enfoca mucho en financially y todo eso. Pero that's just kind of like on the back end, dude. The thing that people don't know and people want to hear, that's the reality of it, pues,
Simón.
But yeah, man. Going back to the tap room, how many beers do you have on tap?
Well, we have 19 now.
19,
in
huh?
Simón, we started with 18. We have 19 now. I carry like your traditional Mexican beers. Like I got Pacifico, Modelo, Negra, and Estrella. I got those on tap. And then I got Victoria, Corona on bottles. And then I carry all of the La Familia ciders. I carry them there too. And then we have like Oregon brewed IPAs, like Fort George, and Level, and stuff like that. So it kind of caters to different audiences, porque back in my days, I would go with my buddy, and we would go to different tap rooms, and I would look at the menu, and I was like, no sé ni qué es esto,
You see TV screens?
Yeah, I see a bunch of TV screens, and I see like percentages. I'm just like, yo, más quiero una chela, man. Like, give me a Pacifico,
Yeah.
And then, so my vision was like, I like this setting, but I don't like their beer, because I'm not a huge IPA drinker. Like, me gusta, my Pacifico or my Modelo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a simple guy. So that was always the vision, I want to have a place where I can, you can get your favorite drinks, but also if you want to try something new or something that you haven't seen before, like also have that as well. Like I got, a lot of customers that were only IPA drinkers. They've come in and now they're like, hey, give me a Pacifico or give me a Pacifico with tajin. And they tell me, they're like, dude, I had never tried Pacifico or Estrella, or I had never tried tajin on my beer before and stuff like that. So it's done well for both audiences and vice versa. I've had some like Latinos that come in and they're like, hey, ¿qué es eso de, Fort George de cerveza? And they're like, oh, ¿qué es eso el cider? And I was like, sí, es tal and tal. And so both audiences have been able to explore different things while still being able to resort to what they already know. So it's been...
That's good.
What's your favorite beer on tap?
Mine?
Or just beer that you carry? Besides Pacifico.
Let's see. I would have to go with the Bad Hombre. It's a Mexican lager.
Had that one?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah, that's the one they had acá abajo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bad Hombre. Fort George puts out really good stuff también, and it's been really popular. But
I know Bend breweries tienen como muchos lager beers. I forget their names, dude. Hay como unos 5 que están bien buenos.
Bad Hombre, I think, is from Ben, no? Is it from the
No
Ben?
sé, no
I
me
think it
acuerdo.
is.
Pero la cosa es que hay como unos 5 o 4, and they're kind of like Mexican theme, but they're like obviously brewed like for being lager, and they're really good, dude.
Yeah, a lot of breweries will have like a Mexican lager type, or even if it's seasonal, but some good stuff.
Es como Chicha. Chicha tiene la que se llama Chela.
Oh,
It's just lager. Just the name is Chela.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, that's cool, dude. But yeah, then you have. Do you drink IPAs, dude, or no? Besides Mamba?
No, I drink IPAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because me and him, we like Mamba. Cuando vemos acá abajo en el centro, we get Mamba. Other than that, I think I like red beer, amber beer, amber ales.
Dude, I haven't had IPAs and it's probably been a couple years I have had an IPA, but I remember we were into Boneyard for a while. That was all we drank for a while.
Because we were young, you know, like, estás explorando. Sales como de lo
No, we weren't
lager.
exploring. We were just drinking Mamba. We were just drinking Boneyard. Yeah, it was like a phase. I think we drank it for like a year,
Yeah,
2
porque
years.
estábamos in Wilsonville.
Yeah,
and that's kind of one of the only ones they had.
Yeah, Boneyard, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a few breweries there.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue adding more like local ones también porque a lot of our customers like trying new stuff.
Is it? You said you had Victoria on bottle.
Simon?
Is it hard to get it on like en un barril or?
No, I haven't seen Victoria or Corona.
Yeah. Okay, that's what that was my question.
Yeah, I've been trying to find out why, but I don't know. I love Victoria, man. That's like my go-to beer because first of all, I don't have to wash the cup.
Yeah.
It's just a good beer también.
Yeah, I like Victoria también. I remember cuando estaba in Arizona, but that was before Pacifico hit the stores here. Because at one point, you gotta see the transition. It used to be pura Corona,
Simón.
Modelo, and then that's it. Now you see Pacifico at the convenience market. Ahorita ya la ves donde quiera. The last 6 years, so algo así. But when I was in Arizona, I mean, tenían Estrella, Pacífico, Victoria, Negra Modelo, todas las casi Bohemia. Hay otra. Carta Blanca. Hay otra pequeñita. I forget what it's.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Sessions?
Superior?
That's American, though.
No.
¿Más superior?
Superior. Tenían todas las mexicanas en Tecate. Y luego había otra que they try to bring here in Montejo.
I've never seen that one.
Montejo. Yeah, Montejo, dude. I think it's called Montejo. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
Es mexicana también, and then they had another one that had a skull mexicana, but that one didn't hit because it tastes kind of like lime. Todo on tap.
Really?
Todo la barra así, todas las mexicanas.
Victoria too?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
shit.
But that was in Arizona, so
Yeah.
like they're closer to the border. I don't know if that is a different
Yeah. Somebody told
connection.
me-
Yo no sé qué onda, pero la cosa es que dude tenían todas. I was surprised. I even took a video of all that. It was my first time like seeing all that Mexican beer there. I was like, damn.
That's badass. No, I had somebody told me that they found Corona on tap in Vegas. But I was like, oh shoot! But I haven't seen it here in Oregon. I don't know if it's available.
Yeah, but I think Corona kind of phased out, no?
I don't like
Yeah.
Corona.
I don't move it very much. man,
Yeah,
so-
Corona, I think it's kind of done.
Yeah.
Modelo's like the new America's beer, no?
It is America's #1 sold beer now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, no? It was like a
como
year
un
ago.
año.
Really?
Sí. Es como ya hay más raza, ya.
No, Simón.
Ya toman más. Ya las second, third generations ya crecieron y ya.
Nah, I'm all Pacifico. That's my go-to.
I love
Yeah.
Pacifico. I like the Corona Negra también.
Oh,
¿Modelo negra?
familiar.
No,
it's
familiar.
sí.
Familiar.
My go-to beer when I go to the market is Pacifico, Victoria. Victoria could have been one, but I can never find it.
Yeah, it's hard.
So I always go Pacifico, Victoria, and then Modelo, yeah. And then everything else just kind of falls donde sea.
What about, have you tried Superior?
Yeah.
Superior it's finally picking up here. I tried it in Mexico for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
in Oaxaca. It's huge. Pero ya se la toman al tiempo, casi no.
That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
gross.
Dude, it was bad, dude.
Dicen que cuando tomas una cerveza te pega más.
¿Al tiempo?
Sí.
Oh, really?
Ajá, porque no sé cómo lo explicaron, pero es porque cuando está fría, tu cuerpo es caliente, tu sangre es caliente. Cuando está fría se tiene que acomodar para que te pegue bien. Y cuando está caliente ya entra a tu bloodstream luego. Porque
Damn.
it already goes in.
They're onto something.
No, they've always said this for years, sino que no one really points it out.
Damn.
En Alemania se la toman al tibio.
Simón.
It's for that reason. Porque les pega más rápido.
En England también creo que tienen
Sí,
chelas
ajá.
que se toman así al tiempo.
Damn.
Al rato hablan
Al
como-
rato, pura cold beer, pura warm temperature beer.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is.
Damn.
Because when it's cold, it has to adjust to your temperature in
I
your
guess that
body.
makes
And it
sense,
gets,
yeah.
that's crazy. No, pero sí, superior. Yeah. Aquí abajo lo tenían antes, ¿no? Esta barra.
Antes,
Botellas. Tenía
yeah.
botellas.
Simón.
Ella tiene Bohemia. You've
Bad
been to
Hombre.
Alicats, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bohemia, Superior. Y
Oh, yeah.
Pacífico.
Llega Superior.
Modelo.
¿Ah?
¿Llega Superior?
Sí.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's where we had when he had Bad Nombre.
Órale. Yeah, I like Buen Hombre.
Yeah, that's good.
Bohemia is good too.
Yeah, Bohemia. It has a particular taste, but it's still good.
Yeah.
That's probably my fourth, fifth. You know.
I know you said Pacifico, but did I already ask you what your top 5 beers are?
No, not yet. So Pacifico, Modelo, Victoria. I'm gonna have to throw one of. I love the guayaba cider from.
That's my
from
favorite.
La Familia. I mean, it's not considered a beer, but you know.
Yeah, it could count for sure.
And then let's see. I have to throw. Let's see. You know, this is an unpopular opinion, man. But when I'm just feeling a cold Coors, man. A cold Coors always hits the spot. Like, when I go to Applebee's, man, that's my go-to. Yeah.
Not Coors Light, Coors.
No, Coors Light.
Oh, okay.
Simón.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No, Coors Light. I mean,
Okay.
and it's you know, some people are like, no, it's like watered down. I like it, man. When it's nice and cold, dude, it's refreshing. It just hits the spot.
Oh, see, no, pues es light, no?
Simón,
Yeah.
so.
Dude, you like unpopular opinions, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I'm full
That's
of
good. That's good. Yeah.
What are your top 5 beers?
I named them already, dude. Pacifico, Victoria, Modelo, La Familiar me gusta también y La Bohemia. Anything that's lager, todo lo que es.
Just lager.
Sí. IPAs.
Mambas don't hit it?
Mambas do, bro. See, the thing is, I only drink Mamba when I'm in downtown or Mesa Del Rincon. That's it. You know, that's just kind of, I don't know. It's different.
It's se pone agresivo when he drinks Mambas. He's not really. It doesn't happen too often.
Going back, so what's your top 5 beers?
I would probably have to say Pacifico, Modelo. I like the La Familia cider guayaba, Mambas. What else? And then Familiar. Actually, Familiar is probably like third. Yeah, Familiar is probably third. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those would be my top 5.
Familiar is good. I don't know why a lot of people don't like it.
I love that, dude.
They're probably scared to try it, no? Como que they see Corona, they're like,
I like Familia.
I think it would probably be tied with my number 1 with the Pacifico and Familiar would be tied for number 1.
Go get one after this. You're right.
Yeah.
Sí,
So
¿verdad?
Familiar is. Now I'm gonna have to try a room temperature now.
I did want to say one thing, man. Is like before we go, you know, move on to soccer. I think one of the biggest things now that I remember when you asked me about like the business and stuff like that. Like before that, one of the most important pieces of advice that I got was from one of my mentors, Mr. Matson. He was my woodshop teacher in high school. He always said, "Follow the money." You know, that was always the advice in a financial aspect because and then as I got older, you know, I kind of developed my own philosophy behind it. But that to me that's like one of the things that I like to teach my students when I was teaching, and that's even now to my students for my players that I'm coaching. When they ask me like, hey, you know, I'm thinking of going to college or I'm thinking of doing this and that, like my advice is always follow the money. You know, another unpopular opinion is that people will tell you not to, you know, money doesn't fix everything, whatever it is. But you know, I like to believe, especially the younger guys when they're first generation, like it may not be the root to all your to your happiness, but it'll make a huge difference if you stabilize your family financially. And I think that's like that. I say that with a lot of pride, saying like I will continue teaching that to my athletes, to my students, and anybody that asks, like, you know, pursue the career that. Yeah, it may not be as enjoyable, but if that's what's gonna pay the bills, that's what's gonna leave you some money to invest in your passion, then that's where you go. You know, I know a lot of welders that are making, you know, a shit ton of money, and they wake up at 4:30 in the morning and they're at work by 5:30 or whatever it is, but they follow the money and that's where they're happy. So I think that's the advice that I would give the youngsters is, you know, pursue what's gonna stabilize you and your family financially, and it may not be the most pleasant of careers, or it might not be your dream job, but if it helps you achieve, I mean, money will help you get where you want to be, and you know that's one of those things that goes unspoken of sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
from the very beginning, it seems like you think ahead and you kind of like methodically like have everything planned out in your head. What are your plans now after you've created this business? Because there's so many different ways you can go.
No, I love that question, man. I didn't realize how important that one is. You're right, and I'd like to think that I have things planned out. A lot of it has to do with son tengo metas, and how I get there is what creates the joy of life. Like I had no idea to start this year that was exactly how things were gonna plan out. I knew what I wanted, I just didn't know how I was gonna get there. And right now, for el año que viene, pues ahorita la meta es seguir creciendo el negocio. Whether that be, expanding in the next few years, or branching out into tapping into the food industry or tapping into the liquor industry. Porque ahorita como we just serve beer, ciders, and wine. Maybe in the future, we can expand to cater to other audiences and people that want to drink different things or whatever. Pero ahorita la meta es seguir creciendo el negocio, and also continue at the personal level. I want to continue growing in my day job as well. That way I can have both, my career and then the business, and then continue. I want to continue coaching, at the personal level too. Like tengo esa espinita,
Sí.
I want to make sure that I accomplish important things at North with my boys, and those things are, I'm excited for what's to come. The business is already set and is up and running. My career is up and going. This season is looking very promising for boys soccer. So there's just a lot of things that are in the works, and my family's really religious, so siempre dicen el plan de Dios, los tiempos de Dios son perfectos. So I think, I don't know if you guys are religious or not, but siempre cargo mi rosario, siempre cuando empieza el día, when we make our first sale, me persino, agradecido, porque es una oportunidad que se me dio, y ahorita it's just about continuing to grow and represent and make my family proud, because that's my ultimate goal, man. I want to make sure that every day my parents are getting older, and I want to retire them, and in the future, and siempre esa es la meta. How can I get closer to retiring my parents so they don't have to go work in the fields, or what can I do to improve their life, because they gave everything to make me where I am, to get me where I am today, so cosas así. So I know I don't have a straightforward answer, but la meta es seguir creciendo, to continue developing every project that we're currently working on right now.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I respect that a lot. I think it's important to think that way. I think it has to do a lot. It has to do a lot with the way we were raised and the way maybe that we all came here, and the way that we process things. And I have a very similar mindset, so I respect that, man.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate your time, man.
Of course.
Appreciate you coming in and sharing your story, man. We had a blast with you, and we wish you nothing but success, man.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are welcome to come in, get a beer.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys are.
Mama's $1.50. Let's go.
He's like, I had to change that. Why is he?
Yeah.
I said $2 porque ya.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate you coming through, man. We'll see you around. We'll see you in conference too.
Simon.
We'll play against North and go from there. It's
Oh,
always
yeah,
a good
'cause you're
game.
at
McNary.
Simon.
It's always a good game, and I don't know if you want to give a shout out for people who want to go look at your tap room or.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that helped me make the tap room a success. Like I said, my homie, Johnny, Sal, Ramiro, Eric, my girl, and my family, everybody that kind of helped make that vision happen. Ahorita, la Mesa Del Rincon is up and running, so anybody watching this, you want to get a cold beer, cold Pacifico, cold cider, listen to some classic tunes. Come on in, get a cold beer. Either I'll be there or somebody will be there, and make sure you get treated like if you were in your own house. Somebody serving you a cold one. So come on in. It's been a pleasure. fellas, I really appreciate you guys having me, sharing the story. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting to, share so many unpopular opinions. So, but yeah, man, you guys are welcome to come on in to the public too. Welcome to join us, and happy to have anybody.